I hated myself. I was a slow learner, always failing in school, and I had low self-esteem. In fact, I used to sit at the back, and whenever my maths teacher would enter the class, I felt some fear, and I really hated her. Actually, I didn't want to see my maths teacher, and she really made me to fear the calculator. Whenever I saw a calculator, I just found myself freezing in fear. And I remember in grade 7, my Kiswahili teacher asked me a question, and I was not able to answer the question. I couldn't answer at all. The last thing I remember is my Kiswahili teacher hitting me so hard on my cheek until I lost consciousness for some minutes. When I regained my consciousness, I found the whole class laughing at me, only to realize that I had peed on my school shorts. They were completely wet, and so was the floor around. I couldn't absorb it. I really felt embarrassed. I really felt shame. And I remember that day, that evening, I went back home so depressed. And I told my parents that I'm not going back to that school again, and that I was ready to stay at home until they found me another school. And I also remember while in grade 4, the schools were closed as the students were being called, those who have performed well, those who have not performed well. I was called as the last student, and I remember walking past the whole school and staff to the podium. It was so embarrassing. It was so shameful for me being the last student in the school, and I had to repeat that grade. It was really embarrassing for me, and I was asking myself a lot of questions. Why was I not understanding what others were understanding easily? Why was I learning so slowly? Why was I absorbing things so slowly? Why was everyone considering me stupid and a fool, good for nothing, useless and worthless? I hated school. The one was proving to me that I was stupid and I couldn't understand anything in class. The world was shouting loudly to me that I was a loser. And in fact, when I went back home, my estate friends, though they were not talking to me directly, but I could see their eyes, that they were telling me I was stupid, I was a fool, and I was useless, good for nothing. And I was considered the most stupid because of my poor grades. It was so stressful for me. It was so painful. In fact, at some point in my life, I contemplated suicide, and I almost decided to permanently drop out of school. My parents decided to change the school for me, and at that point things began to change, though slowly. But the real transformation, the real change, the real freedom happened when I was in high school, when I met a totally different teacher. A teacher so unique in his thinking that he really shocked me until I asked myself, so you mean there are different teachers who could see the world different, who could see me different? I poured myself to him. I opened to him about my struggles, and he sat me down and began to talk to me in a language I could understand. He sat me down and told me, Bob, you are a smart student. He told me that I am smarter than my grades, I am smarter than my O level, and that no IQ can measure my ability, that no exam can measure my ability. And he told me that my self-concept, my self-image, my self-worth comes first before me knowing how to read, how to write, how to do math. And at that point, I felt encouraged. I felt, on top of the world. He went further and told me that no exam can measure my potential, and that I should not allow my grades to judge my ability, because inside of me there is a better version of myself that is screaming to be given the chance, to be given the opportunity. It was at that point that I was delivered. I found true freedom. He finally mentored me to discover my purpose, discover my talent, discover my gifting, discover my abilities, and he really literally walked with me through this journey of life to rediscover myself, to redeem myself, and to bring the successful version of myself out. So I can say he recreated a different version of me, and he gave me principles and secrets to overcome my failure, to overcome my challenges, and to overcome my obstacles. Things slowly began to change, and to my surprise, at some point I saw and experienced massive changes in my studies and in my life, to a point that at some point I became among the best students in high school, to the surprise of my fellow classmates, and even to the surprise of the principal then. And let me shock you that when I did my Form 4, that is the Kenyan system, I performed averagely well. Because I had rediscovered myself, I discovered that I had not released my full potential. And I told my parents that I'm going back to school. I want to repeat my Form 4. And to my surprise, my parents agreed, and I went back and repeated. This time around, not because I was the last student, but because I discovered that I had not exercised my full potential. I can tell you that when I went back, I really did well, and I joined one of the best universities in the country, and I graduated among the best in my class. And today, I am a successful real estate entrepreneur and an educational entrepreneur. And that is why I want to share my story with the world. I want to share my story with students, young people who are feeling trapped and longing for freedom. Parents with kids who are trapped and longing for freedom. I want my story to inspire you, to transform your life, and to give you purpose and meaning for this life. So in case you are there, you are a parent, you have a child you're struggling with, we are here to assist you. And that is why Lifeskill Schools has been born, to give students light, to give students hope, to give students a second chance. So you can reach us. If you have been inspired by this story, you can let me know. You can reach us. We are sending you a link down here. Our contacts also, we are sending you our contacts down here. You can reach to us so that we can begin to walk this journey. We want to inspire as many parents as possible. We want to inspire as many students as possible. So thank you for watching, and I want you to share this video to as many students as possible, to as many parents as possible. Let them listen to my story. Let my story inspire them so that they can find light, hope in this dark world. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, and let's keep this story alive.